The Sibyls, keepers of ancient African spiritual knowledge. Peace, love, and light, family. Welcome to my page, 5666 ratio. Today is June 23rd, 2026. Ancient African mysteries. What if the first prophetesses of the ancient world were African women? What if the wisdom traditions that guided civilizations for thousands of years originated from a sacred lineage of priestesses, healers, and visionaries whose story has largely been forgotten? According to Mama Zogbe, this is the story of the Sibyls. The Sibyls were revered prophetesses, women blessed with the gift of divine insight. They were sought out by rulers, spiritual seekers, and entire communities for their wisdom and guidance. Their words spoke and carried power because they came from a place beyond ordinary knowledge. In her groundbreaking work, The Sibyls, Mama Zogbe teaches that these prophetesses were not isolated figures of ancient history. Rather, they were part of an ancient African spiritual tradition that honored women as keepers of sacred knowledge and guardians of divine mysteries. According to Mama Zogbe, long before the rise of many of the world's great civilizations, African women served as spiritual leaders, diviners, healers, and teachers. They preserved sacred wisdom, interpreted dreams and visions, and maintained a profound connection to the spiritual world. These women were entrusted with knowledge that guided their communities and helped maintain harmony between humanity, nature, and the divine. Central to this tradition is Mami Wata, a sacred spiritual force associated with wisdom, healing, transformation, beauty, and abundance. Mama Zogbe describes Mami Wata not simply as a deity or spirit, but as a manifestation of an ancient spiritual current that has flowed through African civilizations for millennia. Through this sacred lineage, women were initiated into higher knowledge and spiritual responsibilities. They became custodians of mysteries that connected them to the ancestors, the natural world, and the Creator. Mama Zogbe teaches that the Sibyls emerged from this tradition of sacred feminine leadership. They were not merely fortune tellers or seers. They were priestesses, philosophers, healers, and teachers who embodied spiritual authority and divine wisdom. Their role was to preserve truth and guide humanity through times of change and uncertainty. The story of the Sibyls is also a story of remembrance. It is a call to rediscover the contributions of African women to the spiritual development of humanity. It is an invitation to explore ancient wisdom traditions that continue to inspire people around the world today. For Mama Zogbe, the Sibyls represent far more than figures from the distant past. They are symbols of sacred knowledge. They are guardians of ancient wisdom. They are keepers of a spiritual legacy that continues to speak to those who seek deeper understanding. Their story reminds us that wisdom can survive across generations, carried through memory, tradition, and spiritual practice. And perhaps their greatest lesson is that the search for truth begins by remembering who we are, where we come from, and the sacred knowledge that lives within us. Thank you for joining me on this journey into ancient African mysteries. If you enjoyed this exploration of Mama Zogbe's teachings, please like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, continue seeking wisdom, honoring the ancestors, and exploring the mysteries of the ancient world. Peace, love, and light, family.